Chaos and corruption spread across the mortal realms. Armies burn the lands in endless wars, while the god of death seeks to transform existence itself into a silent empire of undeath. But there are those who will never allow the natural world to fall. The Alarielle the Everqueen and her children, the Sylvaneth, rise to defend life itself. These spirits of the forest are not merely protectors of nature, they are its vengeance. The Sylvaneth owe their existence to Alarielle, one of the few survivors of the destroyed world known as the world that was. When the mortal realms formed, she awakened in the realm of life, Ghyran. There she planted sacred soul pods within ancient groves. Inside these pods were fragments of lost elven souls, nurtured by divine magic. From these seeds, the Sylvaneth were born, each one a living spirit of bark, vine, and fury. All Sylvaneth are connected through a mystical harmony known as the Spirit Song. This melody binds them together, guiding their actions and forming the backbone of their society. They have no empires, no sprawling kingdoms. Instead, they gather in sacred forest communities called glades, each dedicated to protecting their ancient woods. To the Sylvaneth, time itself is a cycle, like the rings of a great oak tree. Every generation builds upon the last. Their memories and spiritual essence are carried within a soul seed called the Lamentiri, planted deep inside each Sylvaneth's bark flesh. If a warrior falls in battle, recovering that seed is vital, so life may grow again. The Sylvaneth face powerful enemies across the realms. The followers of Nurgle seek to corrupt Ghyran, turning the vibrant realm of life into a festering swamp of disease. Even worse is the hatred between Alarielle and the god of death himself, Nagash. When Nagash unleashed the devastating Necroquake, waves of death magic rippled across the mortal realms, threatening to drown life in eternal stillness. But Alarielle answered with her own power. Through the legendary Rite of Life, she restored the balance, awakening the forests and strengthening the Sylvaneth once more. And with that awakening came war. It does not take much to provoke the Sylvaneth, trespass upon sacred ground, and the forest itself may rise against you. From shadowed thickets emerge Dryads and Treelords, their thorned limbs and spirit weapons ready for battle. Their armies are led by towering forest spirits and legendary champions. One of the greatest is the Lady of Vines, born from Alarielle's own severed arm. Another is the legendary hunter Belthanos, who carries the fading power of an ancient god of the hunt. The Sylvaneth wage war unlike any other army. Their power lies within the forests themselves. Through mystical groves called awakened wildwoods, they travel using secret spirit paths, appearing suddenly in places enemies believed impossible to reach. Treelords can emerge from the trees without warning. Kurnoth Hunters stalk their prey like ancient knights of the forest, and swift cavalry known as Spite Rider Lancers ride giant insect creatures called dragon spites, striking with terrifying speed. They attack, vanish into the woods, then strike again from another direction. To fight the Sylvaneth is to fight the forest itself. Not all Sylvaneth remain in harmony with the Spirit Song. Some become twisted by rage and bitterness. These lost souls are the Spite-Revenants, shrieking nightmares who can no longer hear the song that binds their kin. Consumed by madness, they tear apart any who cross their path, ally or enemy. In the direst moments, Alarielle herself enters the battlefield. She rides atop a colossal creature known as the Wardroth beetle, crushing enemies beneath its massive shell. Her magic brings life wherever it flows. Through the power of Life Bloom and the Rite of Life, she can even return fallen Sylvaneth warriors to the battlefield. And when she unleashes her spell Metamorphosis, the land itself can transform, twisting enemies into living forest. To outsiders, the Sylvaneth may seem cold, even cruel, but to them, one truth stands above all else. Nature must endure. Civilizations may rise and fall. Cities may burn. Empires may crumble. But the forests must live on, and any who threaten the balance of life in the mortal realms will face the wrath of the Everqueen and the unstoppable fury of the Sylvaneth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Sylvaneth, let me know which faction from Warhammer Age of Sigmar you'd like to explore next, because the mortal realms are filled with gods, monsters, and legends waiting to be told.